September 1st, 2010, history was made. Tierra Thaxton was sworn in to be the first county commissioner of Henderson, Tennessee. What a glorious day. Tierra Thaxton is wife to Gregory Thaxton. A great union was formed, and from that union came two children, Treasure and Bubba. From the beginning, even as a child, Tierra knew one day she would influence many people. And with that influence, she would begin to change lives all across Tennessee. Through years of service and dedication, through friendship, through sisterhood, and always giving back to the next generation. She became a people's person that would grow to inspire all across the world. All right, we have with us today Miss Tierra Thaxton, County Commissioner of Henderson, Tennessee.
Yes.
I thank her for her time. I'm just going to be asking her some quick questions concerning leadership for my class. She has agreed. We thank her. Tierra, what do you think is the difference between leadership and management, if there is a difference?
There is a significant difference between leadership and management. Not everybody is called to be a leader. Anybody can be trained to be a manager.
Right.
You can move up through the ranks to be a manager, and after you learn your skills and you learn what the job is about, people move up all the time. But it doesn't mean that the manager is a good leader.
Right.
Because some people lack social skills and they become passive aggressive and they start power tripping. But a leader can follow, and a leader knows that great people do great things.
Right.
And a leader can show by example, have those qualities that it takes to govern a body of people.
Right.
Without effort.
Absolutely.
So a manager has to use a lot of effort, but a leader leads by example, and it's no stress.
Right. Would you say that leadership is something that's acquired over time, or is that an innate ability of an individual?
Well, I think it's acquired, but every leader is born with that ability to have influence. So leaders, I think, just kind of have a God-given influence on their constituents or the people that's around them. You know, because I think growing up, I had that ability that I didn't want to just follow anybody. And my parents taught me to, instead of wearing other people's names on your clothes, to buy you patches with names on, with your own name on it.
Oh, wow.
And so I think from their influence, and I would say the influence around me, caused me to develop the skills that I already had.
Okay. Definitely important. Now, some would like to say that you said a leader knows how to follow. Some would say that a follower and a leader are two different things, that they're not related in any way. We had a short discussion in class about that. I agree with your statement, but why is it important for a leader? For those that think that it's not important to follow, why is it important for a leader to be able to follow as well as lead?
Leadership is all about examples. It's all about influence. And if I know that you can do something a little bit better than I can, it doesn't take anything away from my character to be able to follow your example. but still maintain who I am. You don't lose stature because you can't do something as well as another person. You just have that ability to flow. You know, if you're leading, you can flow as a leader. If you have to follow for a few days just to learn or just to show other people, if I can come down and be of service to somebody else, it doesn't take anything from me.
What is one word when you think of leader that comes to mind? What's the first thing off the top of your mind?
Influence. I think influence is major. We see it all over our country. One person can change thousands. One's mentality can impact everybody else's mentality. We see it in church.
Right.
You know, but it's all about influence. There is good influence and there's bad influence.
That's right.
But there is power in influence.
Right. Now, we had a discussion in class as well about I brought up a character named Hitler, very well known throughout history for his leadership ability.
Yes.
Was he a good leader or a bad leader? Was he a leader at all, or was he just a psycho?
He was a good leader, but somewhere along the lines he got twisted. He got caught up in a whole nother realm that I think if he could have had the power of God in his life, he could have led a lot of people the right way. But because somewhere along the line, whether it was in his growing up, something, you know, had that negative influence on him, it changed his nature.
Wow.
And so he began to feed into what his nature was.
Right.
Apparently, it was not good.
Right. Apparently. One question brought up in class was, what do you think the best thing about being a leader and the worst thing about being a leader?
I think the best thing about being a leader is that we have the ability to impact so many people's lives in a good way. When leaders have to have a lot of self-confidence, not cocky, but confident.
Okay.
And they have to be sure of themselves. And a leader has to know how to meet other people where they are.
Right.
And they have to tolerate the differences in a lot of different people, but still maintain who they are.
Right.
The negative thing about being a leader is because we possess so much leadership, so much influence, that sometimes that can be threatening to other people. And when you feel like, when other people feel like you are a threat to them, then they try to cut you down.
Right.
In various projects or various things that they have to do. So if you can just meet, I love the best part is meeting people where they are, knowing who you are to meet them and not losing who you really are on the inside.
Okay, now you do hold a position as county commissioner.
Yes.
A very long journey, well deserved. How do you feel as representing, the women race and also the African American race in a predominantly, Caucasian board? Do you feel that you have a more important responsibility to be a distinct leader and, rise above, all the status quo?
I don't feel threatened. I don't feel like I have to be another person.
Okay.
I feel like if I can just show what God has blessed me to be, then I can meet everybody where they are. Earlier I said you got to know how to flow.
Right.
So whether I'm dealing with someone who's struggling or someone who appears to have it all together, I got to maintain who I am. So I don't feel threatened to be nobody else other than who I am. And that comes from going through a lot of things, like you said. So I'm very blessed to be with that frame of mind.
Right.
It's stressless. I don't have to feel like I got to flow into whatever the fad is or whatever the in crowd is doing. I can just be me and be happy and knowing that I'm serving our constituents the way that they need to be served.
Right. Well, we thank you for your time. We appreciate your input. Yes. From all my class and UT Martin. We thank you for taking our time in your busy schedule. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jayson.